Hi, everybody. Zach here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin. Is the crash over? We've seen Bitcoin get down to 30,000 in recent weeks. We've talked about a little bit on the live stream and a few other videos that, we could be seeing another decline. And we're going to get into a little bit more of the details here today on what that might look like and what might happen following another decline. And again, this is probably just a short-term bear market for Bitcoin. A lot of people still feel like we are in the bull cycle, but just a little bit of corrections going on. And again, there's a lot of potential manipulation going on from the institutional side. The big whales come in, buy, a ton of Bitcoin at once. We mentioned, we saw the crash back on the 19th and the 23rd of May. Most of those people who were manipulating the price had upwards to $10,000 to $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? So it's not the retail investors as much as it is the big institutions. And we take a we take a positive out of that. We want some of the institutional money in there, right? Because then it legitimizes cryptocurrency. So before we get into this, though, make sure you are aware that this is not financial advice, just for entertainment and informational purposes only. So Bitcoin price crash isn't over, coming out of JP Morgan. So this article just came out early this morning. Brian Sozzi, anchor and editor at large for Yahoo Finance, talking about how much we saw some fluctuation in the price. Of course, it got up as high as over 60K, 64,000. And it says here, we had argued previously that the failure of Bitcoin to break above 60 would see momentum signals turn mechanically more bearish and induce further position unwinds. And this has likely been a significant factor in the correction last week and other momentum-based investors to cut positions. Now, the longer-term signal remains problematic as it has yet to turn short. It would still take price declines to the $26,000 level before long-term momentum would signal capitulation. So this is definitely a level to watch, this 26K. Now, Bitcoin prices had another challenging weekend over Memorial Day holiday. And we'll take a look at the price right now is at 36K. We'll come back to this article here. So it does mention that, it's been fluctuating quite a bit. It's got as low as 33 over the Memorial Day holiday. By Monday evening, though, Bitcoin prices rallied right back up to 36K. And, this is pretty normal, right? This volatility for Bitcoin. It says crypto notched a brutal May, crushed under the weight of negative tweets from crypto influencer Tesla CEO Elon Musk. A lot of people, talking about, Elon and how he's been able to single-handedly manipulate the market. It is pretty amazing when you think of one person and how they're able to do that. Of course, he came out a couple weeks ago, talked about how Bitcoin's really not eco-friendly, and there's a lot of other assets, including that of Dogecoin, that could potentially limit the amount of energy used during the mining process. Of course, the other big side of that is just going to proof of stake, right? Which a lot of other assets are going towards, whether it be, Cardano or Polygon or Ethereum 2.0. So it says, the analyst thinks that the May crash in Bitcoin has badly weakened institutional demand, which is likely to keep prices under wraps for now until the institutional money comes back in. And here's the thing, guys, if it got down to that 25, 26K range, I think the institutional money would jump in my opinion. So the analyst goes on to say here, there's little doubt that the boom and bust dynamics of the past weeks represent a setback to the institutional adoption of crypto, and in particular of Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are number 1 and number 2 in the market cap, right? We note that the mere rise in volatility, especially relative to gold, is an impediment to further institutional adoption as it reduces the attractiveness of digital gold versus traditional gold, digital gold being that of Bitcoin. Now, traditional gold sits at a $10 million market cap. Digital gold, which is that of Bitcoin, has got up to 1 trillion. It is a little bit below that right now. Actually, we could go and take a look at that. Actually, pretty well below that. 681 billion is the market cap right now. Look at the Bitcoin dominance, 42.3% to ETH's 18.5. This was $1 trillion when we were reaching all-time highs at 64,000. Of course, we've come well off that price. Hence, we see the big drop in market cap as well. But we know how volatile and how quick this could return to new all-time highs when we're talking about cryptocurrencies, especially that of Bitcoin. So here's Coinbase CFO Alicia Haas says on Yahoo Finance Live, the pressure on crypto prices should serve as a reminder of the risk factors for those new investors in the often volatile space. I think that those who are new to the space may have underestimated the volatility that we can see in this market, but crypto is volatile. And we have to remember that this is a really young industry and a very nascent asset class. So while we have seen a lot of volatility, we have been dealing with this since the very beginning. I think this is a really important quote here by Haas, but keep in mind also too, you have a much better chance to do well if you're a long-term investor, right? So if you got in Bitcoin, let's say way back in 2017, you've had some ups and downs. But if you look back at where you were in 2017 versus where you are now, you're sitting pretty good. And I think the same could be said if, we're looking at right now 2021 versus, 2025, right? It says, despite the pullback in Bitcoin and other crypto prices, Haas said Coinbase's second quarter remains on track. Coinbase is a crypto exchange that went public via the direct listing in April. Right now, it's the top exchange in the United States for all crypto assets. The momentum that we are seeing is continuing. There's a lot of interest in crypto. We shared it on our first earnings call just recently with the momentum we saw in Q1, which had continued into Q2. And we're optimistic at this point that we are going to see similar levels of excitement in volume on our platform that we saw in the first quarter. So this is something to note if you're interested in getting into the crypto space, but you don't necessarily want to own crypto assets because of how volatile. Maybe you're just unsure of where that industry is going, and you're more keen to invest on the stock market side of things. You can invest in something like a Coinbase, right, where you do get a piece of the crypto market. As crypto goes up, more and more people will be using Coinbase, right? So that is just something to keep in mind if you want to get into the space, but not all the way into it in terms of buying assets, on this list here. So Bitcoin's still up top right now at 36.6, Ethereum at 25. They're just slightly down today. Cardano up about 3%. Doge has been fluctuating in the low 30s as of late. It's been pretty quiet. It's actually dropped back down to the 7th spot. XRP, Binance Coin back up above Doge. And Chainlink has been doing a pretty nice job of retracing back up to, it was up over $30 yesterday. Litecoin has also had some nice movement. Here's Polygon, one of our favorites here on stream. Theta, one of the top movers here in the 24-hour period. So if we take a look at this, Theta is actually number one. This is one that I really want to add on soon. As of right now, it's doing really well here in the last couple days and the last week or so, up 20%. So hopefully you got some value out of this video. Talking about Bitcoin, is the price crash over? Again, this important number to keep an eye on, 26K, that level, before long-term momentum would signal capitulation. So something to keep in mind. If you got some value out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And guys, I'll see you in the next one.